No, here I'm not satisfied.
So you've been cooking for Hurricane?
It's just now we are facing a lot of issues at once. I was like bullied in the kitchens before.
What's the problem of changing all that?
That's an interesting question. I don't want to do this again, to be honest.
Yeah. Why would I pay 150 euros for the deposit?
We might be rich, but we're not that rich. So
Weirdest food request you had?
I'll just have one chef cooking steaks all day. Bloody hell. Oh, fuck off, fuck that shit.
Hello, Mr. Lisichkov.
Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. We today gonna talk about LBG, especially the canteen, about your life as personal as you would get. And I suggest we start with you. How old are you?
I'm 34 currently. Turned 34 in December. So.
34, and you're a chef.
Yeah.
How come? So young?
Well, I didn't plan to become one. In 2017, I moved to England through a recruitment agency. And initially, the contract for myself was as a kitchen porter, where you wash all the dishes and stuff. But I just changed it like 1 week prior to me leaving for the UK. So that's where I started learning everything. Basically, I went through all the levels. Like I started as a commis chef, which is like apprentice chef.
Yeah.
Then I was given a kitchen to run, which is one of the busiest kitchens in the UK, in Splash Landings Hotel, which is in Alton Towers Resort, which is a really, really busy place. We used to do like 900 people for breakfast, 200 for lunch, and then about 500 for dinner, which was mental. But I learned quite quickly, to be honest. It's not so difficult if you have the desire to do it. And then I moved to England national football team, where I spent about 3.5 years, St. George's Park, where I've worked with really good chefs like Tim Barker, Omar, which is currently the head chef of McLaren Formula One team.
Wow.
Yeah, so I had like maybe 20 camps with the England football team, many other camps, really, really big football clubs and stuff like that.
Football, we are talking about soccer, right?
Yeah, soccer.
Interestingly.
Yes, yeah.
So you've been cooking for Hurricane?
Yeah, sure.
And other people?
Yeah.
Wow. And now you're here. Why?
Yeah. Well, my brother got sick and stuff like that, so I just decided it's time to come back. Because I spent 7.5 years. And I used to hate the weather as well. England is a bit depressing, like compared to Bulgaria. So yeah, that was the main reason. And then we've contacted the American University, and that's how the stone kept rolling. Yeah.
Which city are you coming from in Bulgaria?
Football team.
No, which city?
City. I'm originally from here, yeah.
From here, from Volgograd.
Yeah.
So it seems like a logical choice to be a chef in LBG.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I'm split between here and Bansko, because I really enjoy skiing and stuff. So you can go to Greece in the summer; it takes like 3 hours. So yeah, strategically, it's a really good place to be.
Yeah.
To be honest, yeah.
Are you satisfied with your work here?
Yeah, you could say so. I mean, kitchen business is tough business, but it doesn't matter if you're here or someplace else. It's just the way it is. So it's quite demanding. It's exhausting. You do long hours whenever it's needed. Yeah, there's a lot of difficulties, but I like challenges, so it's nothing that bothers me.
How long have you been working here so far?
Nearly 2.5 years. So.
2.5 years.
Yeah.
In these 2.5 years, almost definitely, you've heard some opinions of students about the canteen, the food there, the prices. What's your general opinion of that? People expressing their negative views mostly.
I think first of all, everybody has an option, like to state their opinion. So I do respect that. Which is prices wise, we're trying to keep it as low as possible, given the fact that we're not backed by anything. Like if you compare it to other state universities and stuff like that, we just have to make our own money. So there is no like funding or anything. And then like what I've witnessed here, like the first few days when I came, I was like, why I'm doing this? First of all, because the kitchen was neglected for like, it wasn't a priority for the university.
Really? Before you?
Yeah, I would say so. And when you do this for a very long period of time, it's just now we are facing a lot of issues at once.
Mm-hmm.
But we're
Such as?
working, well, the cooks haven't been trained. The equipment is pretty old. Like, at least we bought one oven that's actually working. The other ones are just freaking straight bin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, stuff like that. And then food-wise, there wasn't anything creative that's been done before. Like, everything was just, I don't know. In order to keep the prices low, there were some things that were just wrong to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we solved most of it. Obviously, there's a lot more we can do. Because we are the American University in Bulgaria. I mean, we need to be top notch on a certain level.
Exactly.
But yeah, we have a lot of challenges that we're sorting out on a daily basis. Cooks are leaving, the pay isn't great, so it's normal. Like, I have chefs which are working in Bansko Winter Resort. They're getting like 4 or 5 times more. So
Really?
yeah, why would you come
Mm-hmm.
to this here? You know, it's normal.
Mm-hmm.
But apart from that, like, we're working with the sustainability committee. I had one yesterday, so they have some ideas. We try to implement what's doable, what's not. So yeah, and like in general, the students are quite taking sort of initiatives
Mm-hmm.
around the university for different tasks, and they always help us.
If a person, for example, wants to improve, continue, or suggest an idea, what he or she can do to do so?
Um, maybe raise the question with the board, stuff like that. Dining actually matters, like, it
Mm-hmm.
needs to be improved. Maybe that's the best weapon you can use. And then obviously, if you have suggestions towards us, like in general, me or the canteen, just drop me an email and I always support
Mm-hmm.
everything.
What would you say about your team right now? The cooking ladies?
That's an interesting question. They're just very used to certain habits that are no longer appealing in
Mm-hmm.
cooking in general. But most of them, like, they did their fair of work. Like, some of them are actually, I have 2 women that are pensioners,
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So they just don't have the desire anymore, the motivation to change whatever. Like, there is very often situations where I've explained to them and show them how to do certain things, and they still do it wrong. It just bugs me out. But there's some new chefs coming in now. We hired a sushi chef. She's quite good. So next week, when I have more time, because we had a really busy week, quite a
Mm-hmm.
few events going on, we'll just do a new sushi menu. So sushi will be
Sushi,
served. Yeah,
really? Wow.
yeah. So that's kind of interesting, and we'll do it the proper way, not something that's been
Yeah,
just for the fact there is a sushi on the
yeah.
salad. Yeah. So we're interviewing different new people that there are possibilities to join our team. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that will help.
You know what I've heard? It may not be true. You will correct me if I'm wrong. That last year, SG student government had a special committee for canteen,
Yeah.
far as I know, and speaking with the person who was in that committee, he basically says that although you express your opinion and express the suggestions to the cooking ladies, they just do not take it. They don't have the desire to change.
Yeah, exactly what I said. Like, the
Is that so?
motivation is not existing. Yeah. Um. Uh. To be honest, like, when we hire new people, I think it's change.
Mm-hmm.
Uh. Even though we have a few new ones which are really good, and what they do listen more, so there is a change in the right direction,
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, like, some people just being themselves, and we can't really,
Mm-hmm.
even though we did a lot for them, to be honest. But yeah, some people just go there, do as much as they care for, just
Mm-hmm.
go home, which is not ideally. But yeah, we're working in the right direction.
Some people might say that you, as a manager, as a chef, you have the responsibility to tackle such situations when people don't listen to you. So what are the approaches you do, and what are the steps you do to improve the situation, let's say?
Um, because I was like bullied in the kitchens before, like in England, like even racially and stuff like that.
Really?
So
Bully?
yeah. But on the other hand, I worked with people who really respected me. So I always take the nicer approach, like the more calm one where you just explain
Yeah.
to them and just be diplomatic and all that. And you can see how it reflects on them. And you can see their face expressions and if they're taking you seriously and stuff like that. On some of them, it works. On some of them, you just need to raise your voice and be like, right, this is what we need to do and just do it better. Because the worst thing that can happen in the kitchen is where you go do some like administrative stuff or you're busy with something else. So you can't be on their heads all the time. And you leave them to do their job what they did, essentially. So when they mess something and it's already ready product, you have choices. And the best one you can do is just bin it. Obviously, we can't afford this here. So we just, sometimes we go by different rule where you're just not happy and try to fix it and it's not working. So yeah, it's what it is at the minute. But mostly they've learned how to do a lot of stuff that I've told them, like new recipes and stuff. But they don't think it's because we're trying to implement a lot of international cuisines and stuff like that. So then they're just not used to that. Like you need to be a little bit creative as well. You can't just go like a robot and think, oh, I'm doing it right. You need to question yourself first, and well, if you have questions, come and ask me. So yeah.
Are you satisfied with your work, with the work you have done so far in general? And then are you satisfied with the canteen food, pricing strategy, etc.?
With me just here or in general?
Here in your position for 2 years and more,
No,
maybe.
here I'm not satisfied
No?
because I know what potential we have and what we can do. So definitely not. But sometimes you just have periods. For the canteen, we did implement a lot of new stuff. There is a lot more to be done, like I said before. But this is it. Like for instance, that situation where we are able to take a sous chef and just deal with that. That's something like better than if we weren't able to do it because we'll still be doing the same stuff all over and over again. And we actually need to change stuff. Like we now have the city officials coming in end of next month. The menu is different from last year, so it's all new recipes and stuff like that. So I try to teach them that it's easier to change things for events, essentially, than creating new dishes in the canteen. But that will happen like we had a diversity week where there were a couple of new recipes. There's gonna be Earth Day menu as well, so there will be more vegetarian and vegan options. That's all new recipes coming in. But am I happy with the canteen? Like with the prices, we're doing our best, like because we have our little system that actually, when you put all the ingredients and everything, it just calculates the price for yourself, so it makes it a little bit easier. But yeah, yet again, we have a lot of expenses. Like we're running on huge deficit at the minute. Because we're actually doing the opposite. When there is inflation, we inflate lower prices rather than the actual ones. Because if you go around town, you can see the prices for salads and stuff. They're like 15, 16, 17 level. Burgers are like 15, 16, 17 level. So in that, financially, I think as long as we are allowed to have that sort of deficit, because in the other business, like private business, if someone sees a deficit like that, you're just gonna close the restaurant. To be honest, yeah, it's not realistically acceptable to have that sort of. But yeah, in general, I'm not satisfied because I know we can do a lot better. Realistically, we need to take it step by step and not just overdo things because it's just gonna make us look even worse, I think.
when you mentioned about the issues you have in the canteen, the cooking ladies, the machines that are old, some people may say that, what's the problem of changing all that? I believe you're restricted by the budget. Is that so? Is that the main issue there?
Mostly, yes. But demographically, like I've seen so many people come because I did quite a few interviews lately for different number of positions, and most of them they don't have any experience, and they're like the age gap is very high. So we might end up being in a position where you're hiring someone that spent like 20 years in some other business and then trying to retrain them as a chef. It's gonna be even worse. So I think I work on every budget, trying to increase the wages and stuff like that. As long as the university are supporting us, eventually I think we'll find a solution, but it's getting difficult, yeah, in general. There aren't many people who want to do this job as well. It's not the perfect job to be honest. You need to make compromises. Obviously, we have two shifts, so we have a morning and an evening shift. Younger people would just like to spend their evening hours someplace else, to be honest, and stuff like that. So yeah, it's challenging, but it's not just us in this business. Potentially, you have all the other restaurants and stuff like that. They all have similar issues, to be honest. So yeah, it's an industry problem. Like I speak with a lot of people in England, it's even worse in some cases. Like I've spent shifts in England where it was me and my head chef and one other lady from Romania. We did like 600 people. I've done 27 kilometers, 8-hour shift. Like, so I don't want to do this again, to be honest. Like, yeah, it's mental. So yeah, it's not very appealing as a job. But if someone wants to learn something, not you don't need to be a professional chef for the rest of your life. Don't get it twisted. Like, but if you learn, you can go home and cook for yourself after you get another job or something. So yeah, but it is difficult. And the other thing is like in Bulgaria, the law doesn't allow us to have like how do you call it, like temporary chefs where you basically pay them by hour.
Part-time.
Yeah, part-time chefs. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, there is a lot of restrictions that are not helping the business. But yeah, we're trying to sort them out.
Do you think the issue you have with people that below you, let's say the canteen ladies, etc., is that because the main issue is because of the gap age? Because you're pretty young for a chef, and they're, like as you said, pensioners, people in age.
No, I wouldn't say so. Some of them really listen. Like, and when I tell them like you did it wrong, even though I showed you a couple of times, they just panic and they get nervous and stuff like that. And I had that case the other day and I still remember it quite well. So you're telling me you get nervous. You've been in this job for 30 years and you still get nervous. Like, I don't get nervous. Like, so they just need to like relax a bit and start thinking about the things you're doing. But it's not definitely because I'm young, because could be someone younger. Like in England, there were chefs because you graduate high school at 16, so you go to college after. And in college, you can do catering, MBQ levels and stuff like that. So I had chefs that are like 20 to 23 years old. So it doesn't matter if someone below them is like 50. You just have to listen. But the other thing is we don't have the culture of the French Brigade where you have really structured hierarchy in the kitchen. In England, you can't raise your voice at the chef. You just need to listen, keep your head down, do your job, go home. It's simple as that. Obviously, we all stressed out because it's a lot of pressure sometimes, but I here pressure is unknown in this kitchen. It's just we get a lot of events, for instance, the same day. But we still do it and we still manage. So it's not a big deal. We just need to like be composed, keep your head down, do your job, get paid, go home.
One of the things many people say, and I noticed it as well, although I'm only a freshman, that the quality of the food, let's say, during normal days, during as I go right now, and during special events, let's say Thanksgiving or something else, it's quite astonishingly a big difference. Uh, And like naturally, when you taste a good food once from Canteen, like a good, and you say, why don't they cook that all the time? What would you say?
Say I just need to get back to the kitchen because, like, for instance, Thanksgiving, we were, first of all, it was all of us. The whole staff just stayed over
How many
hours.
people are you in the Canteen?
Currently we have 18 cooks
18 cooks.
plus me. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Obviously they're on different level,
Mhm.
but if I can spend more time, because now I'm doing a lot of other stuff like budgets and interviews and all kind. As long as I'm in the kitchen, it's fine because that's the way it should be. We hired a new kitchen administrator, which she needs to take a lot of, well, not a lot of, but some of the more like computer-wise stuff that I don't need to do. But yeah, now I'm training her as well, so we'll have a new cafe manager as well, so I need to sort this out.
So what about the discrepancy between special events and normal days?
Yeah, because like I said, I cook most of them, or like I tweak the recipes and show them how to wow in the kitchen. Like if I go after the fact that they started cooking something, it's difficult to fix it. But as long as I'm there, I do the sauces, I do this and that. So it's just bringing more recipes, showing how to do it and all that. But yeah, sometimes they just don't get it right. To be honest, sometimes we're short-staffed as well, so that affects the quality. They just try to rush, do things, they do mistakes, and you always post the fact that they've done it. So, but yeah, as long as I can spend more time in the actual kitchen, not just doing all the rest. Like Thanksgiving, everybody was saying it was great, even though I proposed a different menu, but then people who organized it changed a little bit. Then I did my best to actually implement that menu. So, but yeah, um, obviously a lot of things from the events that we do, like the food, could be put on the canteen line as well. But I need to be there because, for instance, you have there is a black truffle mash, which it is quite expensive to use truffle. So if I don't do it and they mess it up, it's not gonna work. Like, we can't bin truffle. We might be rich, but we're not that rich. So
Again, one of the main critiques to the Canteen, I think, is that you, as far as I know, you use ingredients, let's say. For example, you cook with oil that is not, it's not olive oil, let's say. These details.
yeah, I know. And I try to get rid of most of it, or the recipes that contains such stuff. But the other thing is, we have to understand that everything that's better quality costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like with the extra virgin oil, there was a crisis. Some of you might heard or not. Now the prices are going slowly down, so that's a good thing. We can do it. I've changed a lot of recipes where they were using some fake butter or stuff like that. We're using as best butter as we can get. But then now we have the problem where the butter prices are skyrocketing. So again, we try to compensate from, like, if I have a recipe that costs less to produce, I just compensate the fact that there is another dish that costs a lot more.
Yeah.
So actually to compensate the profit on them and
Compromises.
to be still available and at the low price as possible. But yeah, that's more like calculating then. But there's a lot of other things because we have like before me, I don't know who used truffle oil or actually black truffle and stuff like that. Because I really want to use those ingredients. It just makes us stand out and gives people the idea of what we can do actually. So yeah, but yeah, Thanksgiving, it wasn't too bad.
Again, being a devil's advocate here, some people say that although, like, they go every day to a canteen, let's say, and I've heard some stories like everything they order every day is chicken, like chicken being the primary part of a menu, as far as I understand it. Will you agree?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people prefer it. Like, for instance, I hate chicken steaks. Well, every time we put them on the menu,
Mm-hmm.
they just finish, so we need to cook more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I'm trying to implement more beef, as now there's more farm section in Bulgaria that produce beef, and it's not bad quality, to be honest. So there will be some beef coming in soon. Fish, before me, I think they used to not do it so regularly, but it was like butterfish most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have a couple of recipes that are just normal grilled fish with some extras like potato wedges and lemon granulata and stuff like that. Because I always try to fix myself on the point where food needs to be healthy as well. We can't just do like fried stuff.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, ingredients wise, we're all good.
Some people say that we we pay really a lot of money, I would say. Like our tuition is pretty high and it's getting higher every year,
Yeah.
every semester. And some people raise concerns that with this money that we pay, we need to get like extra quality of food. And you say what about the monetary restriction you have? You have to be in a budget, you have to organize this, optimize the costs. Why do you think, like, of course, I get your point that you have to be in a budget, but why don't we have a higher, like, bigger budget, let's say? We pay a lot of money. Doesn't university have money for that?
Yeah, I agree. Well, requesting a bigger budget, it's something that, because like I said before, if you look at the deficit, I can try. I just know that people will be like, well, you won't be able to do it that way. But that's a question that needs to be raised to the board, like I said before as well. But like for instance, pasta that we use, it's all Barilla because we managed to
Yes.
find deals, which is good because not everyone even at home. But yeah, I do get your point. You guys are paying a lot of money as well. But then another thing to keep in mind is, and we need to work on that as well, like the meal plans, because you have a lot of exchange students from University of Maine,
Yes.
and for instance, they're paying
1,000, I believe.
yeah here 1,000, but in Maine, because I went through their menus because they have quite a few places in there. And there are certain similarities to what we offer as well, which is kind of interesting, without even me copying any years, don't get me wrong. But yeah, like the diversity in meal plans there is quite extensive. Like you can pay up to $3,500 and stuff like that. I don't want to be here, like, but uh, it just helps the fact that you're gonna accumulate funds that are already paid by meal plans when the semester starts, so we can just use it on better and better recipes and obviously ingredients as well. So that's something we need to see if we can adopt that. I think it would be great.
By the way, many people may not know, but starting from next semester, our meal plan is going to increase from 100 to 150
Yeah,
euros. Was it your idea?
not just mine. Yeah,
Not just mine, but
yeah,
you were for it.
yeah. I suggest that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I did. Um, we'll see if it's gonna help, but that's one of the things, because essentially, if you go, even if you buy stuff from the supermarket, with the inflation and everything, you can see the difference between what you were paying 1 year before and what you're paying now. So, but again, on that point, like they frozen that amount for some time. It wasn't like the only thing that was increased
Yeah.
for a long period of time. And like you said, the fees of everything else just went up. Uh, they were going up every year. Probably they're gonna go up in the next years.
It was a pretty hectic topic, I would say, when we discovered that the meal plan is going to increase because some people said that I don't even eat in a canteen. Why would I pay 150 euros for the deposit if I don't even use it? What would you say?
I would say the most democratic stuff that could be done is just sign off like I'm not going to use it. Like write it on paper,
Why don't we do it?
basically. Well, you can suggest that one at
Yeah, I understand you're not the person who
yeah,
asked these
I
questions. I
mean,
understand. And regarding the administration, we touched upon it. Would you say that you face, let's say, opposition or pressure from the administration? Or are they fully for you, like rooting for you, helping you?
Well, they're quite helping me out, to be honest. Like, uh, again, everyone has their own limitations and stuff like that. But yeah, recently they're doing quite an amount of job trying to help us in the canteen. So, um, the thing is, because there is a lot of things going on in the university, yet the canteen is not the most interesting topic of everyone. Like, obviously, we're building the new facilities and stuff like that. And there's a lot of other changes going on, and even political problems. We've all been affected by that as well. So yeah, it's just too much going on at the same time, I think.
I'm not sure whether you are like it's part of your NDA, but can you say some numbers? For example, how much you spend on the canteen, on the food? I would say it would be interesting, I think.
Well, when I've arrived here, the cost of sold goods, basically what you spend on products and stuff like that, was too high. It was about 37 to 41%, which is quite a lot. I mean, no restaurant in the world should work like this. I was checking today, and we've managed for a year to be around 33%, which is really good.
What does it mean?
It means that you're picking up, for instance, better products, but you use them wisely. So you don't overspend on products, like you don't bin products, like the wastage is less. So it gives you kind of, it's not huge, but it's like you're saving some money so you can use it on better equipment or stuff like that. So that's good. But for us to be on par and not have a deficit, we need to make like 130,000 level every single month.
Per month?
Yeah, even if you guys are not here during the summer or even during the winter holidays and stuff like that, we still need to make those money to be fine, which is really like a huge amount.
Yeah.
Because we have like going back to the meal plans as well, like when you put those €100 and now 150 and you go spend them in the canteen, this is the months we're actually sort of like good, but that's like 3 months before all that money just runs out. So it needs to be like that constantly, and that's difficult, especially in the summer. Even though we get a lot of like summer camps and stuff like, they just don't bring enough revenue. Maybe that's the other thing, like if there's like better events where you external events, for instance, like the mathematics
Competition.
yeah, that's kind of good thing. It's the busiest event, but we do it on like 7 days, and then we do earn some money, which is good. So if there are events like this, maybe things will change even better.
As far as I understand now, after you saying to me all this, Canteen is not a profitable business model. Is that so?
Yeah, exactly.
It's losing money basically.
Yeah.
It has to borrow money from somebody else.
Pretty much, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it's always been like this since day one. So that changing, like you have more and more expenses because obviously we're trying to keep the prices as low as possible, but that again, we need to pay better wages. So that money needs to be made from somewhere, but we're not actually making it. Then you have the electricity going up. Then you have the wastage charges. Then you have a lot of things, of products going up. So yeah, it's not as easy as like people think. New recipes, better food.
Yeah.
I hope it was like that.
Another story I heard, and again, may not be true, is that last year, although the portions were bigger, the prices were also bigger. And because of one accident, I believe some Georgians complained about the food being too much of a portion, and you cut the portions in half and you cut the prices. Is that true?
No, so they always been like 30 grams per main portion. Obviously, the salad bar is paid by 100 grams. And then what we've done, as that was suggested by the dining committee, is that, the sides like side rice or side potatoes and stuff like that. Their idea is like, we lower the prices at 130 per 150 grams.
When was that approximately?
Last summer. Yeah, no.
Starting last semester.
Yeah, it was like beginning of last year, something like that.
Okay.
So that was some time. But the idea is like if you want 300 grams, you're gonna pay 2.60 for like double portion. To make sense. Uh, but yeah, like again, if we can make the portions from 300 to 400 grams, but then obviously the price is gonna be for that amount. It's not gonna be the same price. Some people suggest we bring them up. Some people suggest that we need to keep them like this. But yeah, I mean, the average, like we calculated that if you have a salad, like let's say 300 grams or a soup as a starter, and then you have a main meal and a dessert's about 15 level. Wow, if you go to any other restaurants, I'm sure you're not gonna pay 15 level for a 3-course meal.
One time, my friend Fyodor infamously ordered food for 30 leva, one sitting, 30 leva, and it's become a joke, inside joke between us. Do you know what amount a person what's the record? Let's say, do you know what's the record for a person to buy and eat like in a sitting?
In the canteen?
Yeah.
No idea because I can't track it for.
Yeah. I understand. Just a curious fact. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to dive deep down.
Okay. For such a long time working here, although it's not like a decades, let's say, but some years, what's the like craziest story you experienced here? Like funniest, silliest regarding students, maybe?
There are quite a lot, but I don't know if they're gonna sound great in English. But I did tell the story where
During the more honors.
Yeah. I think that was the funniest. So I don't.
Can you repeat it?
Yeah, sure. So during the summer camps, because it was way hot, to be honest, like way too hot, which is not like an excuse, to be honest, like because we all wear clothes, but so we have. I think those were even under like 18-year-olds. I think like they're probably gonna join our university at some point. So there was that guy from Tony from the bookstore. So I was downstairs in the basement where our fridges and storages. So I'm going to check out some stockpiles and stuff like that, or do my ordering or whatever. And he's coming in through our door, half naked. I'm like, Tony, are you okay, mate? Like, he was sweating. I'm like, and there were still kids like passing out, going to the the fitness where the pool tables, stuff like that. I'm like, man, just put your shirt on. It's not like it's crazy. Yeah. And I'm like, he wasn't listening to me. Like he thought it was all okay or something. It's mental, like, and just now I have it in my mind. Like,
Yeah.
But it's completely unacceptable. I mean, come on, we're in university. We're not. Like, you can do that when you go home. Whatever.
What's the weirdest food request you had in those years?
Food request, weirdest one.
Do you get them often? Like food requests in general?
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you a story from today. Like, there was one of the offices requesting like a private table in the restaurant if they can reserve it and stuff. I'm like, do you really understand? We're not that kind of restaurant. Like, we're not a cabaret or piano bar where you can just like have your own little settee somewhere behind some
live
curtains.
music.
Yeah. I'm like, where did those people go get these ideas? But yeah, that's sort of the weirdest things. Like, not food-wise so much, but some people, maybe they just forget that we are canteen. We are categorized as a restaurant, but not that sort of restaurant. So yeah, that was fun. Yeah.
If you were not restricted by the budget, by all means, what would be your menu? Let's say top 3 dishes. No restrictions at all.
There'll be ribeyes all over the place. I'll have like a station. Actually, I have a gas barbecue downstairs in the basement, so I'll just take it out on the terrace. I'll just have one chef cooking steaks all day.
Sounds good.
Yeah, ribeyes, maybe rams. But ribeyes, maybe sirloins. Anything will do from that level. Fillet steaks as well. then we'll probably do like a live pasta sections where you have all the shrimps and anything. I think that will go quite well. Black truffle pastas, like black truffle fries, stuff like that. So yeah, that will be like just high-end stuff. Just do it. Be mental, because I used to do it a lot. I kind of miss those days, to be honest. On my last job in England, I was working for Lord Barnford private golf course. So we used to do like VIP type of golf days where I used to just take out the barbecue, cook for like 50, 60 people. And it used to be like top notch.
If Gordon Ramsay would walk into the canteen, what would he say?
He would shoot himself in the foot before he tells you anything. To be honest, I've worked.
You don't like him?
No, I love Gordon. Like I used to work with one of his chefs from Amaryllis in Glasgow, his first restaurant. So that guy name was Gavin Austin. Used to be a funny guy, and he told me a few stories. I mean, like, Gordon Ramsay is not like that, like Hell's Kitchen type of like shouting at people, but he does lose his temper sometimes, but not as often as.
So what will he say? What do you think? Would he scream and shout?
No, I think you. Can I use foul language?
Yes.
Bloody hell! Wow, fuck off, fuck that shit, something like that. Yeah. But yeah, I do have a lot of his books, and I really admire them as a chef. Him and a few other ones.
What's the biggest kitchen disaster you've experienced here? I remember we didn't have like water supply or something last semester at the end.
Yeah, that
pretty
was
huge.
one, yeah. That was one. But obviously my kitchen is still like a bombarded place because someone blocked the pipes or something happened with the pipes. So all the water going on around the kitchen was going into admissions office, and it even reached downstairs in the basement. But we're sorting this out. Hopefully they'll put the tiles back on, because it's like there's a massive hole in the floor and stuff like that. So that is sort of like disaster, because it's been like 4 months like this now. The biggest disaster is like some oven. Actually, on Thanksgiving, like one of the ovens gave up, so we had massive amount of turkeys. And bear in mind, like one turkey takes about 3 hours to cook, and when you have to do 30 of them, if an oven breaks down, I nearly lost it back then, because you can't do anything. Even if you call the electrician or something like that, he's gonna come in like 2 days probably. So yeah, that's the biggest. But I can tell you a story in England. I have quite a few where nearly one of my fellow chefs like set the kitchen on fire. So he left like an oven cloth, which is the ones that we use to take trays out of the oven. He just left it next to the gas oven burner and just set on fire. Wow. Thank God I was there. Like,
wow.
But and it was a brand new kitchen, brand new hotel that costed £25 million. It happened on the first day's life.
Wow.
And
you saved it, man. You saved it.
Yeah. I didn't get even a single chocolate bar. It's okay. I don't take it.
I think they had to pay you at least £1 million.
Yeah. I need to remind them now when you said it. Oh, yeah.
You like cooking, I understand. What advice would you give to people who like cooking, who has a hobby of cooking?
Go traveling, can be like Anthony Bourdain or something like that. Just try everything. It might be the most disgusting thing in the world. Just try it for the experience. I think that's the best thing. And then you'll get like a pattern of flavors. So when you're trying different stuff, you're just gonna appreciate more. I think that's the.
What would you say to your future self? Again, you're not 60 years old. What would your future self? Let's say when you're 80. God bless you to live to 80, of course.
Don't stress as much. I think that's the number one.
It's a lot of stress right now for you.
Yeah, well, obviously, yeah, in general. I mean, I won't say that much, but even any level of stress that just reflects on. Because I had like my last head chef in England, he had a heart attack in November. I'm like, and he was young, like 50-something years old. Crazy.
It's a hard job, of course. Well, I really appreciate we talking today. I appreciate you coming. Thank you again.
Thanks.
We wish you all luck, as we are people who are passionate about RBG, about Canteen, and all the stuff connected to it. I really believe you can improve it even more, and I wish you luck.
Cheers. Thanks.
Thank you.